to opening for Sting in a span of 30 days. A guy that has boxed against Roberto Duran, is a singer-songwriter, and an incredibly fascinating guy. Paul Thorn joins us this morning on Mornings with Richard Cross. Paul, thanks so much for your time. I understand some health issues with your dad. I'm sorry to hear about that, but we sure do appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yeah, just, he's, like the song says, life is just a vapor, man, and he's 85 years old, and, you don't get stronger as you get older, you get weaker, so.
Unfortunately,
that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. We certainly wish you and your dad the best as you care for him, and you're with him there a little bit as well. You got a new album that is out, and there's a lot of great stuff on there. I listened to a bunch of it last night, but song titles are so catchy sometimes, and a song title named Geraldine and Ricky feels like it has a chance to be a hit.
Well, I'll tell you about that song. When I was a little kid, not even 10 years old, there was this evangelist that traveled around the state of Mississippi. Her name was Geraldine, and her ministry was she had this ventriloquist doll, and she would, when she would tell about Jesus with this doll, that it really held the children's attention a lot better than it would just her by herself. But anyway, and as a child, I was mesmerized by her, and to the point of I begged my mother to get me a ventriloquist doll for Christmas, and she did. And I started doing ventriloquist shows
really?
when I was a little kid. Yeah, I started doing it. I was the world's worst ventriloquist because I couldn't do there's certain words like B and P that you have to close your mouth to say, And so you can see my mouth moving. But anyway, the way the song started, I had been wanting to write a song about a toxic woman taking advantage of a vulnerable, empathic man, which happens a lot. And I was trying to come up with who the vehicle could be. And then I was walking through a thrift store in Tupelo, and right in front of my eyes when I started looking at the records was a Geraldine and Ricky album. And it brought back so many memories of seeing Geraldine and Ricky because they went to all the local churches. But I thought, what a great vehicle to write a song about a toxic relationship. And, the real Geraldine, she passed away last year. She was a wonderful woman that did a lot of good for God and everything. But I wanted to make the story, I wanted to use them as the people because Ricky represents the empathic man who's just happy to be there and doesn't seem to mind getting treated like dirt. And then you had Geraldine, this manipulative sociopath narcissist who's just looking for her next opportunity. And
so you took the woman who helped teach about Jesus through ventriloquism and made her a villain.
That's correct. Yes, but I tell everybody it's a fictional story.
There you go.
Some of it's true. When I started trying to write this song, I did a little research on Geraldine and Ricky, and the only thing I could find on them that was of any real significance was they were on the Bill Gaither Gospel Hour, and you know what that is?
You're going to have to.
Bill Gaither is?
Yes, I absolutely know who Bill Gaither is.
Bill Gaither has a television show called the Bill Gaither Hour. It's probably the biggest music show in the world, and she got to be on it. And so that was the height of her fame, I think. But in the song, I put Bill Gaither. I paint him as a villain too because it says they made one appearance on the Bill Gaither show. They did a whole set, and then he let them go. They're on the CD, reunion number 9. They got them a lawyer, but they never saw a dime. So in the song, beautiful. Bill Gaither's a villain, too, because he stole their work and recorded them and then sold the CD with their material on it and didn't give them a dime.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Paul, do you prefer writing or performing?
I guess I guess performing. Yeah. So it's writing songs is hard, man. It's I could write a song every day, but I don't. You can't. I wait till a really good idea comes, and I spend a lot of time waiting. And I keep a notepad in my back pocket and a big pen. I'm old school, and I just jot down things I hear all through the day, and then at the end of the day, I'll just review it, and some of it turns into a song sometimes.
That's incredible. Tell me about the boxing portion of your life. That I guess the biggest piece of that was when you fought Roberto Duran, and was that in Memphis or was that somewhere else?
No, it was in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Okay, in Atlantic City.
At the Tropicana Hotel and Casino. They have boxing matches in casinos. Like big matches are mostly in casinos and stuff. Yeah, and but I was a very good boxer, but I was not a great boxer. There's a difference. And, I could win at a certain level and could hold my own pretty good. Mm-hmm. But in '88, I got a chance to fight Roberto Duran. I was a top 10 contender at that time, and so I got this opportunity, and I went in there with him, and it was the thing that made him hard to fight. And I tell anybody this, and it's a surprise that they don't seem to, unless you've been in there, they don't seem to understand. But what made him special was not his punching power. Although he was called Hands of Stone, yes, he hit hard. But there's guys in a bar that can hit hard. I mean, there's guys across your street from where you live that can hit hard. But what made him special is he was incredibly hard to hit. His defense and ability to make you miss, that's what made him special.
Wow.
My God, if you threw, when I just, you know how if you put a magnet against another magnet, if you put it a certain way, the other magnet goes away instead of coming to?
Right.
That's exactly how it was trying to hit him. His face would be right in front of me, and I would throw that punch, and then right when I throw it, he would just effortlessly, just slightly back up and make me miss. And when they make you miss, a great fighter like that makes you miss, he makes you pay for it because he ducks under what you was trying to do, and it puts him even closer to cracking your jaw.
Ugh.
And that's what made him special. And it's also what made Duran, enabled him to fight for such a long time. He fought for way past his prime, and towards the end, he got beat up by fighters he could have easily beaten years ago. But he had so much longevity because he never got hit. Everybody's been hit and cold-cocked a time or two, and he had too, but it was very rare that he ever even got hit with a clean punch. And so, I fought Duran, and I hung with him for 6 rounds. And after the 6th round, they stopped the fight because I had a horrific cut.
Ugh.
And during the fight, I mean, I didn't come in there to lay down because I busted his eye open, and I'm pretty happy about that. And we both, no joke, we both rode to the hospital in the same ambulance.
Oh wow!
He was laying on one side, and I was laying on one side, the other side, and even though I lost the fight. Well, let me just go back just for a second. After I fought Duran, I had 4 more fights after that. And I won them all, but they were all against lesser competition. They weren't Roberto Duran's. And so I sort of realized that that at some point I realized that I wasn't going to be a world champion. I just didn't have that little extra something that it takes to be one. And so I went back into my music. And, you run into naysayers, and they used to say, well, Paul, why did you quit boxing? And I just, it's like that. But you know what? I didn't quit boxing. I took it as far as I could take it. And there's a big
difference. There's something to be said for that. There's
a big
something
difference. I took it to the mountaintop. I gave it my shot, and a lot of fighters, they keep on fighting and they get punch drunk. And the reason a lot of them keep fighting is they don't have anything else to fall back on. They've spent their whole life trying to reach this goal, and they keep telling themselves, you know, if I train really hard, I can get back what I used to have. But you can't. So, you know, people who are really great, like Muhammad Ali, one of the great, probably the greatest of all time. He fought too long.
Father Time is undefeated. There's no question. Hey, have you got time to hang through the break and visit just for a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna continue the conversation with Paul Thorn. He chose, despite signing with a record label early on, to self-produce and self-release. We'll ask why. And then also, the name of an album back in 2010, Pimps and Preachers. There's got to be a story there. More of Mornings with Richard Cross right after this. What a unique voice, what a unique talent. Paul Thorn, that's the voice you hear, singer, songwriter, musician, and he's got a show coming up March 1st in Columbus, his only performance in Mississippi. Tickets still available for that online if you would like to see Paul Thorn in concert. We got a message, Paul, on our C-Spire text line. Says they have a memory like you. I remember seeing Geraldine and Ricky at a tent revival in my early years. So they were certainly,
there you go.
Certainly making rounds.
I'm running is that everywhere I go since that song has come out. So many people in this, especially in the South, they remember Geraldine and Ricky, and so
that's awesome.
You know, since on another note, since Geraldine passed last year, I am on a mission to find out where Ricky is. Because he's either beloved by his family and put in a glass case on display, and they don't ever want to get rid of him, or he's in a sack in a closet somewhere being ignored. So I'm trying to find out what's going on with Ricky, because if Ricky could have a wonderful home with me, I'd love nothing more than to have Ricky in my family. But I don't know if that's possible or not. But if anybody listening to this, it knows where Ricky is, and if he's being mistreated, this must be stopped, because I want him to live out the rest of his days in a good spot.
In a place of honor. I have to ask you about this. Anybody in North Mississippi that spent any time in Tupelo has probably had a meal at Vanelli's somewhere at some point in their life. If not for Vanelli's, do we know who you are as a musician right now?
You know, it's unlikely. I mean, it's likely I would have never gotten into music business, because I used to, when I was in a previous season of my life, I was a factory worker, and I worked at a factory in Nettleton, Mississippi. And at night, a couple nights a week, I would play in this restaurant called Vanelli's.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, like a lot of artists, I was sending cassette tapes out to anybody that I thought would notice my songwriting, and maybe I wanted to get in the music business. And I will make another long story short. Sting's manager, Miles Copeland, of Sting and the Police, got a copy of my cassette and liked my music and liked my songs, and sent a representative down to Vanelli's, of all places in Tupelo, on a night when I was playing in a corner just with my acoustic guitar. And when I took a break from playing, this guy said, "Hey, I work for Miles Copeland, and he wants to offer you a record deal and a publishing deal." And then within a couple of weeks, I quit my day job at People Lounge, where I've been working there for 12 years, and I got they gave me money. I mean, more money than I ever saw before, at the time. And I was able to quit my work. And, being a minister's son, a Pentecostal minister's son, I wasn't allowed to go to secular concerts, So the very first concert I ever attended in my life, I was opening for Sting in Nashville.
That is unbelievable.
Well, and I didn't have a band. It was just me and my guitar. But, and everybody says, "Weren't you nervous?" And honestly, I wasn't, because you have to keep in mind, I've been singing in front of people my entire life in church, so I was accidentally prepared. And whatever I did for that 30 minutes when I opened up for Sting, it really went well with the crowd, and so Sting liked me, and he invited me to go on tour with him after that. So I went on tour with Sting, and so
it's amazing.
And you know, I didn't have a band or anything, and when those dates with Sting played out, this other artist heard about me. His name was Jeff Beck. He was a guitar player. You know who that is?
I do not know Jeff Beck. No.
Okay. Well, he was anyway. I'll tell you what. I'll just use another name.
Okay.
Which is another guy I toured with as well. I'll just replace him. You know Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, he heard about me, and he asked me would I go on tour with him, and so I get and then I wound up. I did a tour with him, and then I did a tour with Bonnie Raitt, and then I did a tour with John Prine. And what was happening is, even though when I was doing these shows as an opening act, a lot of those people, none of those people came to see me, basically. But what happened was I could go back to those same markets 6 months later, and a lot of those people that saw me with all those artists, they came back to see me on my own.
Awesome.
So I kind of built my audience on the shoulders of other artists who let me get in front of their crowd. And,
that's incredible. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I would beg that you would come back on so that we continue. There's so much more I want to ask you, but we're just out of time this morning, and I appreciate your time so very much.
Well, just make sure everybody can tell everybody that March 1st I'm playing 2 shows at the Cromwell Theatre in Columbus, Mississippi, a 5 o'clock show and an 8 o'clock show.
You heard it from Paul Thorn himself. March 1st, tickets still available online. Columbus, Mississippi, Cromwell Theatre. 2 shows. Get your tickets. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday morning. Have a great day.